Hi, and welcome back to the series that we're doing with speakers at WEF, Women's Economic Forum, located in Bangalore, India right now. And we are gathering together with some of the speakers here at this auxiliary series to talk about starting businesses, growing organizations, ministries, and missions. And so what we're going to be talking about during this segment is social media marketing. And of course, there are so many aspects that we could go into. We're going to let our guests kind of drive the conversation here. And so far, we have one guest with us. We've got gals that are coming and going between speaking engagements at WEF. So I'm not sure at all how many we'll have in this section, but we have so much ground to cover that I don't think we'll run out of things to say. What I'd like to do right now is I would like to bring on our first guest, and she is from India. This is Shikha, and Shikha is the digital strategist, mother, technopreneur, and CEO of BitQuest. And you can learn more about her at her website there. So Shikha, welcome to you, and tell us what BitQuest is.
Thank you. BitQuest is actually a global digital marketing agency based out of Kuala Lumpur and India. And we have a team, operations team back in India at Kolkata. And most of the marketing activities happen in Malaysia. So I'm kind of in between both the countries. I travel back to Kolkata every 2 months. But of course, due to this COVID and this whole pandemic situation, I've not been able to go back. And I'm really, really missing my constant traveling. I really love being on my toes all the time and, in between countries. So, but now you just have to take a relax, a setback, I would say. Not a setback, but yeah, a kind of toning down and taking time for yourself and sitting at home and doing work from home.
I like to think of this COVID season kind of as a detour. Yeah. So where is home base for you then?
Kuala Lumpur at the moment.
Okay. And where do you live when you're not in India?
Kuala Lumpur. I live in Kuala Lumpur most of the time.
Okay. And where do you go when you're not there? I'm missing that piece.
Okay. I go to Kolkata in India. There's a city called Kolkata.
Within India. Okay. I was thinking you were traveling over to some other Asian countries.
Either it's Kolkata or Kuala Lumpur.
Got it. Okay, so I'm going to have you speak a little more slowly just because of our connection here. Okay. But I'd like you to answer the question, what are you doing right now using social media? And it's a big question. You're just going to have to narrow it down. What are you doing using social media right now to grow your business?
Well, I think social media at this point of time has really, this whole industry, I would say, digital marketing per se, has seen a huge disruption during this lockdown phase where people are not able to go out and meet people physically. There is no human connection that's happening. So I think the only connection between people is through the digital means. I mean, whether you want to talk to people, communicate, pass on information, sharing ideas, everything is happening over social platforms. In fact, if I talk about numbers, the number one platform at this moment is mobile gaming. To be very honest.
Yeah. What is it? It's what?
Mobile gaming.
Mobile gaming, sure. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mobile gaming is right on top, and then is all these OTT platforms which are giving out very good content in that sense, content in the form of whether it be movies, whether it be talk shows like these. So people are hungry for content at this point of time because some people have lost their jobs, or maybe they are working from home and they have more time to consume and more content, to learn new things. So all these platforms are helping them to achieve that. So I think OTT platforms have really taken a big leap during this time. So this is also one of the digitization that has taken place during COVID.
So for you personally, for your business, what is your number one social media platform or channel?
I would say Instagram at the moment. Instagram, yeah. That's one of the number one platform that's really keeping people occupied at this moment. Sharing pictures, maybe from their knowledge or past holidays or every kind of thing. And I think even advertisers have taken Instagram as one of the most popular platforms for advertising during this time.
Yep. And on your own company's Instagram, how many times a day do you post?
We post 4 times a week.
Four?
4 to 5.
4 times a week?
Yeah.
A week.
Not every day.
And not every day. And when you post, do you usually post pictures, or is it a combination picture, story, video? What are you posting?
Combination. We do post stories, we post pictures, we post information. It's more information based, like what is good about social media, how you should post. I mean, facts, myths, new launches or new things that comes in. We share ideas.
And what has been your biggest response to a post like recently?
Biggest response to post. I'm not really sure, but yeah, people have found our content really a good learning experience. Like very recently, someone posted that they really like to follow our page because they find the content very appealing and very up to date. It's not like constantly posting something just to be there. As I said earlier, that it's not important to just keep posting, but it has to be more relevant, more meaningful. I think you have to look at your audience or at your client base as your audience. I
Yes.
would say.
Right.
So that's how you build trust.
Right. And then how often do you make an offer or an appeal to your audience to buy something or go off of Instagram to do something with you?
Well, Marnie, very honestly, we do not have that kind of direct approach that we follow. We always believe that providing a correct content to them, they would sign up for further on their own. We really don't like to have that direct marketing kind of
Right.
approach, which we feel is always it creates a negative impact of you being very pushy. So our approach here
Interesting.
is very, very different. We like
Yeah.
to treat our people as our audience, and we like to give them good content, and only if they come back to us directly, we treat them as our clients.
No, I love that. And thank you. That's why I asked the question, because I think there's a lot of confusion about how social media is to be used. And it's not really an advertisement. It really isn't.
Yeah, it isn't. It's more of like giving your way of
Yes.
giving back to the what you have learned during these years. It should not be treated as a direct pushing mechanism of your marketing activities. We never like to post things like buy from us now, or things like that. It looks really pushy. Even when my creative team comes up with posts which are very pushy, I would straight away reject them. I personally, yeah, I mean, they know that I do
Just
not
being
have
honest.
this selling approach.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And that's really great input. I am going to actually bring on another guest at this time, but I hope that you'll stay with us because I'd like to bring you back on in a moment. Okay, thank you. All right, and I'm going to say welcome to Jill Loveland. Hi, Jill.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
There we go. We got your thumb. There's you.
How
Welcome
are
to you. Good. I know it's always hard to get positioned because it's a mirror. It's backwards, and it's
It is backwards.
I'm always holding things the wrong way too. Welcome. And you today are located where?
I'm in Northern California, near San Francisco.
Nice. Okay, very good. Well, thank you for getting up early and for being here with us. What time were you presenting at WEF?
I'm doing 2 a.m. in the morning, my time.
I know. Somebody asked me what time I started this morning, and I said 4. So you were up even earlier than me. Oh, well, that's great. And what are you presenting on?
So I'm presenting on how to be a person of influence because I'm a
Yes.
publicity expert. So obviously influence is always key.
Yes. So I would like to pick your brain about social media. And obviously we could talk about this for hours and hours, days, weeks. But when you look at the big scope and you narrow it down to some pieces of advice that you would give to someone who's just not quite sure what's actually like, should I even bother? Like, is this just a big waste of time? What would you tell her?
I would say that social media is never a big waste of time, that it's key to keep yourself influenced and out there, that it's important to have a message that's appropriate and focused. And it's all important. Publicity is publicity is publicity. So it's really key to keep connected and keep influencing, keep people seeing you, and keep drawing that trust factor.
Right. So if you were going to say for you, for your business, for what you offer people, what's your favorite channel right now?
LinkedIn,
yeah.
Because I'm working mostly with business people. So typically that's it. But I also love Facebook. Mm-hmm. And those are my two particular drugs of choice, is what I call them.
I love that. Drugs of choice. Yeah. Okay. And let's go to LinkedIn then. Let's talk about that. I also love LinkedIn. So I'm a big Facebook person too. And I love LinkedIn. We're getting a lot of traction at Pinterest right now, as well as YouTube is starting to grow for us. YouTube's a slower grow at YouTube. That's just a lot of hard work to get that channel to grow compared to the other social networks. But let's go to LinkedIn, and I'm going to just pick your brain a little bit and share a little bit of my own insights there too. So at LinkedIn, I use it for finding, like my radio show, I'm always looking for experts, published authors on a specific topic of how to do something related to business or marketing or speaking or writing. So I use it a lot for that, as well as to connect with other ministry leaders, mission leaders, and business leaders in the world. And I love their search engine. I love how that works. How do you use it? Like you personally, and then I'll go back to the other side. How do you have people find you there? So how do you personally use LinkedIn?
A couple things. One is I hire someone to help me.
Right.
I am not, here's what I know. You can't know it all. I'm an expert in publicity. I stay in my lane. I've written 4 books. I can talk about any of those, but what I know is what I don't know. And I think it's really important to delegate. So I have an expert helping me in LinkedIn. And then I have like a 2-step process. He actually looks for coaches, consultants, authors, entrepreneurs, speakers, people also that I tend to work with. And then I have a second person who then might private message them and send them an invite to talk. And that's when we connect, right? That's when I'm connected to the person and can share how I can help them. What do they need? I do a connect call is what I actually call it. And it is a connect call. And I've formed some great relationships that way. But truthfully, if I'm the one who did it, I would get lost in that. It would take me away from my virtual publicity courses, my consulting, the speaking, the different things that I love to do. So I just learned in life, stay in my lane for me, because my lane is publicity and publishing. And that's always been the best.
Okay, so in that answer, and that's perfectly fine. In the answer, I heard how you find clients and potential customers at LinkedIn, but do you ever go there looking for any help in any way? Do you go there looking for people to help you?
I probably should more.
No, it's just a question.
Yeah, a couple things. One is because I give certain webinars on free publicity and on how to get a book published. So I put that out there, and then what happens is I end up attracting the people who are really looking for that in that moment.
Right.
So I'm able to help people. Yes.
Right. So for you, LinkedIn truly is a marketing channel. That is your marketing channel.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. And what are you posting there? First of all, how many times do you post a day or a week, and what are you posting?
Typically, my ask of my team is 3 times a week.
Okay.
Like Facebook 3 times a week, 2 to 3. I'm not a daily post kind of woman. I think people are very busy. I know not everybody's going to see it, but personally, I think it's enough. That's just my opinion. And so the same applies to LinkedIn. We're at least 70 to 80% content, maybe 20 to 30%. Here's what I'm doing. Please come join me. And so, ask and promotion. And that feels good to me.
Mm-hmm. Right. And this is for you guys listening. You're going to find advice at every point of the spectrum, all the way from tweet 200 times a day to once a week is plenty at LinkedIn. So you're going to have to come to your own point of A, what you're comfortable doing, B, what you can possibly sustain, and then 3, how you're going to go about it. I love that you've actually hired help on that. And you guys, what I say is, if I was going to do social networking the way that I would really like to do it, the way I think it would be fun for me to do, I would need 3 of me full time. 3.
Exactly.
And so when you hire somebody to even help you a couple hours a week or whatever, you're still just scratching the surface of the potential if you had like unlimited resources. So you're going to have to narrow it down. You're going to have to narrow it down. And you're at 2 channels actively, and you have paid help.
I do. And,
yeah,
I'm big on team, right? Do what you do best,
yeah,
and redirect the rest.
right.
And especially in today's world, we have so many people who all over the world who can help. And I think there's wonderful resources and access. And I say get some help, get some team,
Yes.
and stay in your lane and do what you do best. So I just say publicity, publishing. I know those 2 things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking, consulting, coaching, my virtual publicity course. Those things I love, those things I know. And I think it's really important to be the best I can be and then delegate the rest.
Yes. Okay. And we're going to talk about this more in the management segment, but I do want to bring it out here because there are things that only Jill can do. You're the only one inside of your head. You're the only one that can love on people the way you do, that can bring Jill to the picture. And other people can do some of the background stuff that anybody could do. You could just hire somebody that's good at that, and you could get that work done. And I think that's the way to, as a leader, that's how you have to distinguish between what you're going to do and what you delegate.
Absolutely. Yes. And I'm always big, with my clients, I'm like, okay, who's your team member, right? Even if you have one admin who's going to support you. And the social media in particular, it's wonderful. It's important. It's important for your professional, what I call putting yourself out there, right? And speaking and having your opinions and giving people great content. All of that is really important in social media. And by the way, I think it's a really good publicity tool. And I'm really big on putting a powerful message out on it in ways that help support who you are in the world as a leader or as a doer, as whatever you're doing. But, on the other hand, it also can be a huge time invested in it. So that's why I say work with professionals, have a team member responsible for that, because I do think it's a lot to manage yourself.
Absolutely. I'm actually I know you have to go pretty soon because you have to go speak, but I want to bring you back in while we've still got Jill here too. And Shika, what is your response to that? Did something come to your mind as we were talking? What thought do you want to share here with our audience?
No, I think as far as Instagram, LinkedIn is concerned, I think Jill has brought a very good point of LinkedIn as being, the marketing platform. And I really feel that LinkedIn in the last few years has really picked up well. I think that is, when you said about, sending those marketing emails or something, it can still happen over LinkedIn because, the connections there are very specific and professional. I mean, the kind of connections that you build on LinkedIn per se. I mean, not through your company page, but even through your personal profile. So that is the kind of audience that you will look forward to as your future clients.
That's a huge distinction to make there, Shiko. Good point. Is that some of the channels you're very much supposed to be sharing pictures of your kids having cake, and other channels you have the opportunity to be more professional salesy, more of the business type of side of things. And so that great point. Thank you for bringing that out. Jill, a comment to follow up?
So yes. And so for me, honestly, as a businesswoman, I'm busy. I'm not posting, honestly, too many personal pictures. I might do it occasionally.
Yeah.
Like here's a fun place I went to At one time I went for a farm animal tour, and I posted me and the cows, and that was fun, right? And I'd like to show people some of the personal things I do. When I was at Women's Economic Forum in Egypt last year, I was definitely posting pictures. With that is with these wonderful professional women that I'm interacting. So again, I think it's a question of what's your purpose. So my purpose is to interact and connect with professional women and men who are out in the world. And personally, I'm not doing as much personal posting. It's just a choice I made. And I think, again, you have to make a choice. And yes, I do like to show the personal side of me, but I tend to stay more professional just because I'm a professional and that's who I am in the world, perceived as. I play a lot. Yes, I have fun a lot. Yes, I have lots of hobbies. And I think, if I'm going to put my face out to the world and connect, I want to interact in social media in a professional way. That's my choice. So I don't put out my personal opinions. I don't go political. I don't do any of that. I just stay focused on connecting professionally. And on the whole, that's been successful.
Awesome. Thank you, Jill. And I'd love to bring you back in a couple of minutes. So stay with us because I'm going to.
Well,
do you need to go, Jill?
I actually have to go speak at another event.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Jill.
Thank you.
God bless. Take care. Okay.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And we've got Pooja waiting in the room here too, but I wanted Shika to say goodbye to you first and thank you for coming. But do you have a closing thought that you'd like to share before you take off?
No, nothing much. I mean, as I said, that it's all about putting out the right content out there. And to add to what Jill said just now, like whether decide to put whether you want to put up your personal pictures or content or professional one. I think you have to choose the platform where you put your personal pictures. Like for me personally, I use Instagram to post my personal picture on my personal profile, but when it comes to LinkedIn, I have kept it strictly professional. Like you can't really have your holiday pictures going up on LinkedIn. So definitely LinkedIn is the platform you choose to have all your professional daily activities shared there. So that is there. And
that's how you do it. Awesome. Yeah.
And the final key thing is that do not try to directly pitch in through social networks. I mean, you have to build relationships through these networks and not direct pitching. It really doesn't work, and it would not bring in customers to you. It will only bring in some kind of negative impact about your organization in your clients' eyes, prospective clients' eyes.
So thank you so much for being here. God bless you. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the weekend at WEF. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye. Yeah, bye. All right, this is Marnie, and we are doing this session on how to use social media platforms to market your ministry, business, organization, whatever it is you're trying to market. And so we had an interesting conversation here between two women who both have developed large organizations, and they're coming at it in very different ways. We've got one over here that's saying, I'm pretty much just doing the professional stuff online. Every once in a while, I'll throw up a picture of my family or what I'm doing, but mostly I'm staying professional and I am pitching some offers. The other one's like, don't do that. This is what you're going to find. And this is what makes social media very tricky, because you're going to get, like I said, advice from everywhere from once a week is great to 200 times a day on Twitter. And you're going to have to just come up with what feels right to you. And everybody's going to be different. So before I bring Pooja on in just a second here, I want to just share with you my philosophy, because this is going to be, again, unique. And during COVID, I actually spent some of the time that was freed up because of the shutdown. I had some time that I usually wouldn't have had, actually quite a bit of time. And I spent some of that time truly researching the social channels and where the opportunities are. And I would say that from my perspective, one of the easiest channels to grow is Pinterest. And there's a lot of people on Pinterest. So if you have any interest there, just start a Pinterest boards and just get going. Pinterest is pretty easy to grow. Instagram's pretty easy to grow. Facebook was pretty easy to grow. LinkedIn is not hard to grow, but just takes a little more time. YouTube is the hardest, I would say. So as you are thinking about where to invest your time, I don't recommend that you go to all 6 unless you're me or unless you have a staff. And what I do suggest is that you figure out what you like to do. When you go to the different channels, where do you hang out? What do you like to do? What do you like to see? Do you like to see beautiful pictures? Do you like to see funny videos? What is it that you enjoy? And then you do that. Or the other way you can do it is, what do you want to do? So the only time that what you want to do can get you in trouble is when you just want to sell your stuff. And that's what Shikha was talking about, is that if you're just going to be on there to just push, market, try to get people to buy your stuff, buy ads, don't try social media for that. You can put some stuff out some of the time, but it's really not very often. You're really actually building relationships. And if you think of social media, whether it is a business party or a personal party like LinkedIn or like Instagram or Facebook, you're at a party. And how would you like it if somebody came to your party and just started selling whatever they're selling? Let's just say insurance, for example. They just go from group to group to group to group talking about insurance and how they have the best prices and how they can serve you the best. They're no fun to have at your party. And that's how you come across when you are on social media behaving like that. That's an advertisement. That's actually a sales pitch. That's a separate place in our world. So when you're on social, you want to be social. That is the number one word. Be social, engage. So for example, on my socials, I invite you to watch something like this. There's nothing to buy here. I just invite you to watch something like this, spend some time with me and my friends from WEF, and just gain some skills or gain some knowledge and insight, but don't be salesy in a non-salesy situation. Pooja, welcome to you.
Hi, Marnie. Thank you so much for having me on the show today.
I'm so excited to have you here. And where's your body located right now?
So I'm in Bangalore, India.
Okay, you're right at the home base.
Yes, exactly. Yes, WEF home base is all being operated out of here now. So yeah.
And what?
Yeah.
Thank you. What is your topic at WEF this weekend?
Yeah, so I am talking about mentoring your team. So I'm a career advisor. My company is called Aspire Career Advisory. And I work with a lot of students and teenagers and people who are looking at their graduation, postgraduate programs. And I basically help students identify the right career path for themselves. And if you look at the market today, there are so many new age opportunities, new careers that are mushrooming. And a lot of times students and parents are a bit hesitant because you don't really know what is the potential in a particular area.
Pooja, I'm going to have you slow down just a little bit because there's a little echo going on. If you talk slow, we'll be able to understand what you're saying a little better. Thank you.
Great. All right. So, should I just start from the top?
Just go ahead from where you left off. Yes.
Okay, great. Perfect. Yeah. So as a career guidance expert, I work with a large number of students and parents, and to help students identify what are their skills, what is their aptitude, what are their interests, their personality, and how they can then match that to the right career options. Because it's basically a question. Everyone says follow your passion, right? But how do you match passion and your profession to then arrive at the right mix?
That's just a huge thing. Now, is your target audience the parents or the students?
So that's where we're going to come into the social media bit now. So my person who's using my product or service is the student, but the person who's paying for it is, of course, the parent. So I have both whom I'm targeting in that sense. And which is why I then use different.
Okay, what is your number one preferred platform? What is your number one preferred platform?
So again, if I had to choose, I would choose 2 platforms, only because my target audience is different. Now, if I'm targeting parents, I'm going to be looking at LinkedIn. And if I'm targeting students, I'm looking at Instagram. Okay. A lot of students used to be present on Facebook before, but there's been a huge migration and all the kids are on Insta nowadays, right? So that's the platform you need to go to. So in my communication, I have things that's targeted at students and parents, and both of that goes on different platforms based on whom I'm looking at.
And how many times a day or a week do you post at each?
So on Instagram, I have been trying to kind of look at posting at least 5 times a week. On LinkedIn, it's about once a week, sometimes depending on stuff, because I also give updates on different colleges, admissions, different procedures that are going on. So sometimes if it's newsy and relevant to that time, it'll be more frequent. But on LinkedIn, I would say 1 to 2 times a week, and Instagram about 5 times a week.
Let's start with LinkedIn, since that's only 1 time a week. What are you using as your post? Are you writing an article? Are you using an image, a video? What are you doing once a week?
Okay, so it's going to be a combination of all of these. So I also have a YouTube channel where I do a lot of informational videos. I do interviews with professionals from different areas so students get an idea of what really goes into being part of a particular profession. I do interview slots with different universities where they can come and talk about the unique courses they offer, the admission procedures. So one set of the posts are related to these videos that I'm then sharing on the network, okay? Then there would be articles or blogs which are more relevant to something that's happening around. I do also conduct a lot of events at different places, and then I'm sharing that information too on the platform.
Sure. And then at Instagram, what do your posts looks like there?
Yeah, so Instagram, so my focus is entirely that, so my objective or our objective at Aspire is to provide students with a lot of information, right? So I feel only when you know truly and understand about a particular profession or career in detail, can you really decide if that's the best fit for you. So we do, so for example, I pick a career a week, okay? So we did 1 week on careers in sports and sports management. We did another week of careers in biotechnology, another week of careers in artificial intelligence, right? So there are a number of different careers that we cover. And through the course of the week, we try to give them a lot of information about a particular career.
Okay, so you pick an angle and you spend a week on that angle. Is that correct? Is that what I'm understanding?
Absolutely.
So let's say that I found your Instagram page when you were doing the angle of health professional. And now 3 weeks later, you're doing the angle of, let's say, computer technology. So do you find that your viewership kind of changes depending on what you're doing? Or how do you hold this person who came in for this idea through other things that maybe don't interest them?
Correct. Great question, Marnie. Basically, what happens is, yes, like you rightly said, if it's a career that you're not.
Okay, remember, slow down. Remember, slow down. Slow down. It's because of this connection. It's just, if you don't slow down, all the words go together somehow. I don't know why.
Okay. Yeah. So what you said, Marnie, is absolutely right. That if it's a particular profession that we're talking about that may not be of interest to a particular student, the interest could dip, right? So, which is why we also have a lot of interactive sessions. I have something that I'm launching called Terrific Themes on Insta, where we're going to have different students coming in and talking about stuff. So if you know the highlight section, so the highlights would normally capture what's been covered in a particular week. So even if what I'm covering this week isn't of interest to you, in the highlights, you'll be able to see the different careers also that are available. So there is something of interest for everyone then.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you for bringing that up, because you can set those to be whatever you want those to be, and then you have something for everyone who's coming back. Excellent. That's really good. Yeah, we don't want to, one of the things you want to be careful to do is when you get an audience, you don't want to lose that audience by changing, yours is congruent for you because you're talking all about passion and purpose and what you're going to do next with your education. So you're completely congruent. But some of you that are listening, you've got different things going on and they aren't. They don't all tie together. And you're going to have to find a way to draw somebody into your channel and keep them there, even if you happen to be talking about things that aren't of interest to them right that moment. So I love that you're using, the categories there.
And I think for all of us, right, Marnie, whichever business you come from, whichever industry you belong to now, your social media presence is imperative. It's very, very important. So I actually went back and did a specialization from Harvard in social media marketing a few years ago because I realized that I need to upskill myself, right? The way the whole industry functions, the way communication functions is very different now. And spending some time understanding that and understanding the different digital platforms really helps your business.
Yeah, well, it is just huge. I want to, if you want to hang with me here for a couple minutes, Pooja, I'm going to come right back. I'd like to share my screen with you guys because there's a couple resources that I want you to know that are available here. And the first one is over here. This is the homepage of Marnie.com. And if you scroll down here on the left side, there's some resources. But what I want to show you is if you go to this radio show there, if you go to that one, this is a weekly program that comes on and will give you some structured training in some aspect of operating your ministry or business. And then on this one, you can go down here. And the one I wanted to show you right now is this media marketing one. If you click through on there, that's going to take you to all of these programs that are going to teach you specific things about media and marketing. And this is all free at my site, Marnie.com. So I just encourage you to go over there and just scroll down to the one that makes the most sense for you. What is it you need help with right now? Because there's really a lot of help available. And I think it's important for you to recognize that this social media piece, like I said at the beginning, we could talk about this for weeks and not cover it all. The most important thing is that you want to find what's actually going to work for you. One of the other resources that I provide in the membership zone, hang on one second here, let me just share this screen with you. In the membership zone, there's private content that you can get at here. And one of the things that you can do is you can do your marketing personality test. And this is where you're going to be able to truly identify exactly what would be the best, sorry, that didn't go through, what would be the best way for you to market your business in the time that you have. It's pretty overwhelming to try to figure out of all of the channels, out of all of the opportunities, including cold calling, direct mail, email, speaking to get business. I mean, there's so many things beyond even the social media marketing aspect of things that I just want you to know that there's help for you at Marnie.com. If you want to narrow that down, just head over there and check out the free training first. It's under radio show, and then click on the marketing media section there. And then if you want more help than that, then either join a membership. It's a low monthly rate to get access to everything, or you can purchase that marketing media personality test as a separate entity that you can just take independently all by itself. My heart for you is that you figure out how to move past spinning your wheels or burying your head in the sand and hoping this doesn't apply to you, or becoming completely overwhelmed and just breaking down. Social media should be something that's doable and that's enjoyable, and that actually builds your business. So I'm going to bring, Pooja, I'm going to bring you back in. From what I just said right there, did something kind of trigger in your mind that you thought, oh, I wish I could tell them?
Oh, absolutely. I think, Marnie, it's fantastic that you have these resources available, because for someone who's looking at beginning their social media or digital journey, it's an ocean out there, right? There are so many things happening. There are so many platforms. And it's very confusing for someone to really understand where to begin or what suits your business best. So I think it's fantastic that you're really offering these courses and information to people. So that would be really helpful.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I think I want to close with one more question for you. I'm wondering, when you think about your social media, in light of all of the marketing and advertising you do, how much of it revolves around social media? Like percentage.
Okay. So I'm just going to quickly talk about something. So there are three things, okay? I call it VCP, visibility, credibility, and profitability, okay? Now, social media helps you create visibility, okay? When you post quality content, it adds to your credibility, okay? And only then do you come to the profitability bit of it, okay? Yes. Now, in my personal experience, social media is fantastic in terms of a branding tool to create that, correct? But how many conversions are actually happening to business or people signing up for your program? that's a different question. So we're still using the more traditional methods of calling and cold calls and emails, and sometimes when you're trying to connect directly with people, right? So I would say you need both platforms. You need avenues where you can directly reach your customers, and you need avenues that can create your brand and visibility. And the combination of both works best, in my opinion.
Excellent. Really great answer. And that was VCP, visibility, credibility, profitability. Love that. I know when I think about it, I remember that in order for people to do business with me, they have to first know I exist, like me, and then trust me. And so if they know me, like me, and trust me, they're much more likely to say, I trust you with my money, or I trust you with my partnership, or I trust you to promote me, or whatever it is. So as we think about social media, it is the platform. It is the way to begin the marketing process of that know, like, and trust. But it isn't going to be the place where you do hard selling, where you expect to close a lot of sales on your social media pages. You're driving them over to your product or whatever as they become interested and realize their need for something that you're offering.
In the mind of the customer, correct? Now, when they see posts from you regularly, you are top of the mind for them. And as and when the need for your service arises, that's when they reach out to you. But if you're not on social, then you're not top of the mind. And at that point of time, when they do need a particular service or product that you're offering, they will go to someone else.
Yeah. So I that was a little bit hard to hear, but I did catch what you were saying, and it was top of mind, and that is just huge. And that's why I know connections worldwide, global, whatever. That's why when you are thinking about what you are posting, make sure that what you're posting is congruent with what you want on people's top of mind. It's really important not to allow yourself to be sucked down a trail that isn't anything about you or what you do, just because it's the rage or whatever. So just stay congruent with who you are and continue to put things out there that you think that your audience would appreciate, value, and would love, and then go from there. Pooja, any final thoughts, a parting word of advice or tip?
Sorry, I didn't get your question. What did you say?
Okay. Do you have one final thought that you'd like to share before we're done?
Yeah, no, I think VCP for me is the biggest part, right? That's the way for us to go: visibility, credibility, and profitability. So that's what I'd like to end on.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. God bless you. Thank you. Okay, you guys, and thank you for being here. You can go over to Marnie.com and just find all of that content over there that I recommended, as well as visit any of the guests that we had here today. So thank you for joining me. And we will have one more of these sessions that's coming next on management resources and recommendations. So we'll see you there. Thank you. Bye-bye.